Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of the Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to talk about Senate candidate for Ohio, Bernie Moreno, in a recently resurfaced 2019 podcast where he legitimately called for certain forms of gun control. And basically, you now have current Ohio Secretary of State, who's also in the Senate race, Frank LaRose, using these clips, possibly out of context, possibly legitimately in context, to basically paint Bernie Moreno as if he is some, complete gun grabber piece of shit, basically, is what it is, which would it surprise me if Bernie Moreno was? Not really, honestly. I mean, the guy's a used car salesman, for God's sakes. He's already previously been on my bad side for over a year now because he called for fucking reparations back in the day for people that fought for the North Side in the first American Civil War is what it was. And it's like, so what you're doing, shit to begin with on that one, like that pretty much solidified it for me of not to cast a vote for that guy. But then I was like starting to come around again because he was one of the only couple of this races what was there. And then now I realize there is a fourth option. Obviously, there's another guy in this race too that's not really being talked about too much, who is basically a nobody. And maybe that's what people need to vote for, dude, is the person that's a nobody entirely. Because that's really the issue right now, right? It's you have people who are like semi-known, or like at least semi like, there, whatever the case be. And then you have other people who are not known at all. And then you have these other people out there that are like completely like unknowns is what it is. So it does kind of make me wonder, honestly. And it's really like bugging me right now, honestly. Interesting. As of 36 minutes ago, we got House Republican leaders have been desperately trying to stop Jared Milwaukee from winning the nomination to take on Democrat Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur, who defeated him in 2022. This headline reads from Politico. It says, controversial Ohio GOP congressional candidate considers dropping out again. The thing with Jared Milwaukee is the guy's kind of a shitbag anyway, dude. Like, I don't think it was technically stolen valor, but it was like he did go into the military at some point, is what it was. But he like over exaggerated what he actually did. There is what it was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Like he tried to act like he was a straight up combat vet and stuff like that, which he really wasn't. Like he was just some random dude in like, the barracks and shit like that, or whatever the case be. Or like some dude that like did whatever that didn't really ever see like active combat is what it is there. Like he was like the secondary or thirdary platoons of people and stuff like that didn't really ever get a chance to like, go in there and like actively fight is what it was then. So, or something like that, I think is what it was. I'm not exactly sure, honestly. I know that specifically that congressional district, though, I believe is where Derek Marin, current Ohio State rep, is actually running in. And I think Derek would make a better candidate anyway, for that matter, because of that reason. But anyway, I'm trying to find the thing right here. Trying to find the Ballotpedia thing because I'm trying to find that dude's name now. Is what it is. There it is. Okay. Let's see here now. Why are you not bringing up when I need you to bring up here? Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah, U.S. Senate. Here you go. This is what I'm looking for right there. Because it should say who's all in this race right now. Oh, okay, never mind. So this is a three-person race then. That sucks. I thought there was a fourth guy in this one, but apparently not, because that person either didn't make the thing or was disqualified from the running is what it was. So yeah, it is Dolan, Moreno, and LaRose then. So, God. It's like, I really don't want to vote for any of them, dude. That's the point, right? Like, truthfully speaking. Like, I'm sure as shit not going to vote for Matt Dolan after what he did with Senate Bill 375 last General Assembly, where he literally tried to push gun control through a Senate Finance Committee he was chairing at the time, and used his position as the chair of that committee to push through this bullshit that had nothing to do with finance at all is what it was. It was totally red flag laws, universal background check, gun grabs, and stuff like that. So, and like I said with Moreno, you got this popping out here in the last couple of weeks is what it is here, which was What gun do you need to have 100 bullets in it? Well, first of all, it's 100 rounds. It's 100 cartridges. You don't know nothing about 2A. That's why I would have called your ass out on Twitter on that one over this whole thing because, and for those wondering why I actually called him out, and we'll actually go to the tweet here that I put out a couple minutes ago as it was. Under the networks page, which was load issues right now. Yeah, I specifically said to Moreno, I actually tagged his ass on that one. And I specifically said to him, I said, at Bernie Moreno, congratulations, douchebag. You just cost yourself a lot of votes. Who the fuck are you to tell any of us how many rounds we need? Also, you clearly know fuck all about 2A because it was created for hunting tyrants, you jackass, not deer. And that's the truth of the matter, right? Like, nobody ever talks about that, really. Like, that's the entire reason why we have the Second Amendment to begin with, dude. It was our founding fathers in this country, the Thomas Jeffersons, the Ben Franklins, the George Washingtons, etc., literally creating the Second Amendment and the Constitution there, which, by the way, for those who don't know about the actual founding of this country, when our founding fathers were helping create the Constitution, they were doing so hiding in churches. Had they been caught, they would have been tried with treason and killed because they were technically doing treasonous acts against the British Empire. They were the actual terrorists, ironically enough, of their day. But of course, when you look at terrorism from the perspective of the fact that it was the British monarchy who was the actual tyrants and the actual terrorists, no, our founding fathers were freedom-loving patriots, what it was, dude, entirely. And that's the problem right now. It's basically kind of the same thing right now in 2024 here. You got, Biden, Democrats, rhinos, etc. there in power that shouldn't be, who are the tyrants, who are the actual terrorists in this country. And it's us freedom-loving patriots that need to be the ones stepping the fuck up against what it is. So, but anyway, yeah. The entire point is, though, going back to what else Moreno said, here's what it was. He said, with moderate gun control stance, Moreno makes case for electability. Said GOP U.S. Senate hopeful Bernie Moreno didn't receive the endorsement of Ohio's largest pro-gun owner rights group. He likely preferred it that way. I assume he means Buckeye Firearms. Most likely would be my guess. Said, quote, in his political career, Moreno, a Westlake entrepreneur touted as a common-sense outsider, has steered clear of making rigid declarations on hot-button issues. This includes gun control, where the two-time candidate sees a general election opening with suburban voters he believes want more of it. That's a fucking lie, by the way. Nobody wants gun control, you jackasses. Anybody that claims that shit is a fucking retard, basically. Like, seriously, anybody that talks about common sense anything and then puts gun control after it, dude, fuck out of here, cunt. Anybody who tries to take your guns from you should be shot in the fucking face. I'm gonna say it like this, dude. Straight up. They should be executed on the fucking spot is what it is. For being a tyrant sack of shit. They should be killed just like our fucking founding fathers killed the British Empire in this fucking country, dude. Legitimately. It's as simple as that, really. So, anyway. And that's the thing, right? Like, what's funny to me, too, by the way, is all these fucking people that call for this shit, whether it be, Moreno most recently, Biden, etc., Sherrod Brown's done in the past, Kamala Harris has done in the past, a lot of people have done in the past, basically. The thing is, though, they'll sit there and call for that shit, right? But they'll never be willing to be the first person in the stack at the door to kick somebody's fucking door in and take their guns by force is what it is. Because, if they did, they'd get shot and killed is what it is. Legitimately. And that's the entire point, though. But they'll sit there and hide behind armed guards and armed security, etc., and make dumbass fucking declarations and shit like that. But you never actually have the balls to come to your house and do it themselves is what it is. They'll always send the, fighting age males they keep bringing over the border now is what it is now. So, anyway. Just to be very clear on that one, just for the fucking Fed boys out there, I'm not calling for violence against anyone. I'm simply stating facts is what it is. Same thing with you, YouTube. Anyway, where are we at here now? Okay, so Moreno was supposedly claiming that suburban voters want more gun control, which is absolute BS entirely. And that's the thing, right? Like, you even, like, seriously, if anybody even looks at the polls for any of this stuff, where you always see them being like, oh, 80% this, 90% that, whatever it is, support gun control shield or whatever the case be, it's all fucking lies, dude. When you actually look at the nitty gritty of it and you find the actual numbers of it, it's like 400 to 500 people at most, usually. They're the ones calling for this shit, and it's always in major cities, usually on like Ohio State's campus or some other fucking, campus down there in Columbus, Ohio is what it is there, with a bunch of college kids. It's a bunch of dumbass, retarded leftists who, by the way, in many cases, are actually the BLM and Antifa terrorists that burned down this fucking country in 2020, who are the same fucking assholes calling for gun control. Of course they will do. Of course they would be the ones doing that, dude, because they will be the terrorists getting shot in the fucking face for trying to burn our country down again here. This fucking summer is what's going to happen. Most likely. Like, if you don't believe there's going to be riots again 4 or 5 months from now, dude, you're fucking kidding yourself, honestly. And it's always going to be the left doing this shit again, dude, to maintain power. That's what they always love to do, is what it is, man. So, anyway. Where are we at now? Yeah, this was okay. So this interview happened on August 29th, August 2019. So I'm wondering if this is before or after the Dayton massacre. Like, that's what I'm wondering on this one, right? Marina said all this stuff. Because if it was right after the Dayton massacre, because Dayton massacre happened on, what was it, like the 4th or something of August, I believe is what it was, something like that, 3rd, 4th, someplace in there. I know it was like a 14-hour time span between the time that El Paso happened and the time that Dayton happened. Like right after that is what it was, that next morning or whatever it was then. Because El Paso happened at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it was I want to say it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. That's when Dayton happened. The next morning is what it was then. So, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm wondering if this is like right after that, because that's the thing, right? Like, even Democrats were trying to call for disarmament immediately after that, dude, and trying to use the tragedy to Dayton to call for fucking mass gun grabs and stuff like that. So it kind of does make me wonder on that one, right? Like, has Moreno's stances changed since then, or is it still the same, honestly? Because that's the thing, right? Like, I've talked about this in the past with my own self, dude. Like, after I bought my first gun in this country, which was right before the midterm elections there, and I found out how easy it was to go buy a gun, basically, because I didn't have to do waiting periods and stuff like that. I was like, there was like a day and a half or so there where I was actually pro waiting periods. And then the more and more I thought about it, I'm just like, no, that's fucking stupid, because all you're going to do is get legally armed people killed by having to wait to buy a gun, while meanwhile their criminal ass, ex or whatever it is out there who's stalking them can just go get one off the fucking black market on the streets and stuff like that, dude, or get a knife or something else for that matter off the streets, or even like buy it legally, whatever the case be, then and stab them to death. So yeah, why would you, stop people from being armed is what it is then. And, obviously I've been a very much staunch constitutionalist since 2020 is what it is here. For over 4 years now is what it is. So, and I've been legitimately fighting for the rights of the people in the state for over 5 years now is what it is, or not quite 5 years, but it's been basically since Democrats tried to do gun grabs in 2019, about 4.5 years, give or take, almost is what it is now. But yeah, this August will be 5 years then is what it is. But yeah, for real though, like, I've been fighting for rights for people since then, dude. And I actually was very much instrumental in getting constitutional carry passed in 2022 here. So for anybody that wants to know my track record personally, if I ever ran, like, that's what it is, bitch. It's legitimately, hey, I helped get constitutional carry passed. I was all pro stand your ground. I'm pro, 2A preservation, because I've been fighting for fucking 2A sanctuary in this state for almost 5 years now is what it is. That was my nitty gritty thing at that time. And I've been fighting for that, county by county since then is what it is. So, which unfortunately scumbags like Jason Stevens keep holding that shit up now for votes and whatnot. So anyway, hopefully he's gone by the end of the General Assembly of this year is what it is. And then you can have somebody like Hoffman or something jump over then and take up the mantle of Speaker of the House then next General Assembly for 2025, 2026 then. If we actually make it to that, obviously. Because there could be an full-blown civil war by the end of this year, obviously. So I bring that up, obviously. Anyway, let's see, going back to the Moreno thing here, it said, this whole gun debate, damn, we can't say, okay, here he says, we can't say This is how many magazines a gun can have. I mean, what gun do you need to have 100 bullets in it? Moreno told Cleveland Tech podcaster Michael Heddick during an August 2019 interview on his Fortify Your Data show. Quote, that doesn't mean I'm going to take your damn gun. I'm going to take your goddamn gun away. But do you really need 100 bullets at any time? Again, Bernie, who are you, motherfucker, to tell me how many rounds I do need and how many rounds I don't need, dude? Are you going to sit there and tell a fucking government, U.S. military government for that matter? Are you going to sit there and tell some fucking military serviceman, oh, you don't need 150 rounds in that M240? In that box? How about fuck you, Bernie? Seriously, dude. Yeah, again, gun-grabbing asshole. You have no right to tell me what I can and can't have and what I should and shouldn't have, motherfucker. Now, granted, should the asshole who did the Dayton Massacre have had anything? Fuck no, because that piece of shit Connor Betts should have been a fuck better person since he was like fucking 17, because the motherfucker back in 2012 created rape and kill us in this fucking high school, and then this goddamn fucking parents, piece of shit ass fucking parents, most likely either donated a fuck ton of money to some fucking county or some police chief's fucking re-election campaign, whatever it was there, or they legitimately handed this guy a fucking fat envelope full of cash and was like, let our son out of the fucking jail, buddy. Because for some reason, it was like that Friday or Saturday is when this kid was arrested, and by fucking Monday or Tuesday morning, he was back in his fucking high school. And even the girls and guys that were on these fucking lists were like, why the fuck is this dude back here? Not to mention that the piece of shit of the Dayton Massacre there had direct fucking ties to both Antifa and BLM terrorism. He was also a fucking lunatic leftist nut. He apparently loved Elizabeth Warren because he wanted to vote for her for presidency, is what it was. That was all stuff on his Twitter page before it got yanked, by the way. And that's what kind of makes me think, honestly, like going back to, you know, I've talked about this past, obviously, with like government psyops and stuff like that when it comes to mass shootings and shit. I believe that you can basically tell now which ones were done by our government, or at least facilitated by our government, and which ones were basically like copycats at that point. I believe 100% El Paso was 100% government done. And the reason that I say that is because they scrubbed that motherfucker's social media pretty much to non-existency immediately. Yet meanwhile, the piece of shit, 12, 14 hours later, whatever it was, the Dayton Massacre there, his shit was up for a couple of days then, until they finally found everything, were able to yank it, and that's when people like me were able to have that information about him being, Elizabeth Warren supporter, fucking Antifa and BLM affiliated, etc. there. So, yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude. And I really do believe that guy was just a copycat Antifa piece of shit, basically, what it was there. And then to sit there and have Michael Bloomberg's ass in his fucking communist gun-grabbing side and shit like that, trying to now sue these mag manufacturers over the fucking magazine that was used that night, even though it was the piece of shit that fucking pulled the trigger. It's like, no, dude, the magazine has nothing to do with it. The magazine manufacturer has nothing to do with it at all. Again, here's the thing, right? And that right there, honestly, like the 100-round thing with Bernie Moreno there, shows me two things on that thing. And like I said with the thing I said earlier with the Twitter post and stuff, the guy knows fuck all about the Second Amendment. He obviously has never shot a gun too, by the way, on that one. Or at least if he has, he's probably shot like maybe handguns or something. Because, or probably most likely he's just like all these other dumbass fucking rhinos out there that's like, oh, let me do a thing that shows I'm pro 2A. Let me get an over-under shotgun and go fucking clay hunting or something. The reason why you'd want a 100-round drum, dude, is because it takes a long fucking time to actually reload magazines when you're out on the fucking range, jackass. Maybe I want a 100-round drum or a 200-round drum for that matter to go out there and do some fucking practice shooting and stuff like that and do some target practice and whatnot, or do like long distance fucking competition shooting or something like that, dude. Maybe I don't feel like reloading mag after mag after mag and stuff like that when they go empty. Maybe that's why you'd want a 100-round or 200-round, jackass. Or maybe I would want those same exact things to, again, fight a tyrannical government. Again, it's not, you don't have the right, buddy, to tell me or anyone else what we can and can't have is the whole point. So it's as simple as that, really. But anywho. Let's see. Yeah, and then Moreno was quoted as saying, by the way, you're going to eat a deer that has 100 bullets in it. Again, you clearly know nothing about the Second Amendment, sir. Because if you did, you would get the whole thing that it's not for fucking deer hunting, it's for tyrant hunting. Secondly, obviously you don't know anything about fucking even Ohio laws for that matter, jackass, because number one, you can't even fucking use a 5.56 to go deer hunting in this state, jackass. Or 2.3 for that matter, even. It has to be straight wall cartridges only, like 350 Legend, 40 Bushmaster, stuff like that, which, by the way, even in a 30-round mag, you can only fit about 20 rounds of those in there. I know that for a fact because I looked into it before. So, and yeah, you can totally have an AR platform on like 50 Legend or 40 Bushmaster or some other, 50 Beowulf or whatever the case be there. But the entire point is, though, it's like, yeah, it's going to be a lot less rounds and a lot less capacity, which, by the way, even the state of Ohio, I think, is still like, it's either 3 or 5 rounds is what the actual limitation is still, though, even for that thing, which is kind of stupid, honestly, in my opinion. Because, who's to say if you're not going to, like, obviously you're usually not going to miss, but the whole point is, like, yeah, if something were to happen, you, like, need to take, like, let's go and see how to beat on, like, multiple deer for that matter, and you pop one and then you get a chance and you, like, miss and then you miss again or whatever the case, but then you're just fucked with what it is then. So, but anyway. But yeah, the whole point entirely is it's like, again, it's not, and this is the problem that I hate so much with the NRA is what it is, dude, because they're the ones that started that whole fucking bullshit moniker of, oh, it's for fucking deer hunt. Like, well, it wasn't really them starting it. It was basically the Bloombergs of society that started it, like, oh, but it's for deer hunting, right? And then the NRA just kind of went along with it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's totally for deer hunting, bro. It's like, no, it's not, you fucking idiots. That's not why the second one was created. It was that's a fucking after effect of it. Just like shooting sports is an after effect of it. The entire point of the Second Amendment, the entire point of having the right to keep and bear arms, was to have a free state from a tyrannical government. And if a government ever became tyrannical, it was a way to deal with that tyrannical government by fighting fire with fucking fire. And it's as simple as that, really. So, anyway. Let's see here now. Okay, well, this right here is why I actually want to fight Bernard Moreno right now. Moreno suggested that gunners who oppose ammunition control laws and the banning of certain types of guns have a mental illness. No, that's you, douchebag. Said, quote, I mean, do they have that kind of ADD, attention deficit disorder? I mean, are you in that kind of a hurry, he said. You're like, no, I want to shoot 100 bullets at the exact same time. Well, obviously, again, you know fuck all about guns, jackass, because if you knew anything about fucking firearms, you would know it's one trigger pull per fucking round being fired, dumb fuck. So you're literally going click, bang, click, bang, click, bang 100 fucking times, dumb fuck. Dude, I actually hate Brendan Moreno at this point now. I may actually vote for Frank LaRoche just because of this, honestly, dude. Like, I hate to say that. I don't want to vote for Frank LaRoche, honestly, but, like, it's coming to that point now, dude. Because fuck Moreno entirely, dude, on this one. So, all right, let's see here now. Continue on was quoted as saying, cannot we say that with guns like... Wait. Cannot we say with guns that there can't be some kind of common sense law that says that one probably is out, right, without infringing on anybody's rights? No, you are infringing on people's rights, you fuckface. Moreno was then quoted as saying, cannot we have universal background checks that say, hey, if you're crazy, maybe you shouldn't have a gun right now? And again, who's to say who's crazy, asshole? Because I could say you're fucking crazy, Bernard Moreno. I could say you're a fucking electable asshole. I could say you should be the exact reason, douchebag, why I've said many times in this country we should have a 20th Constitution that includes omnibus qualifications, not even from just holding office, but for being able to run for office. And yeah, you're just with this interview alone 5 years ago, Dick Smoke, you're fitting that exact fucking moniker right now, buddy. Of exactly why you should be out of the fucking race entirely, douchebag. Anyway. James here and says, gun crime down in Ohio's largest cities. Yeah, and why is that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because we have constitutional carry now that actually AG Dave Yost, his office was the one that did a thing of it between 2021 and 2023, year prior to, the year of, and the year after, that actually showed it was because of that whole thing, dude. So, yeah, and what's funny here is it says federal law bars, quote, crazy individuals from possessing firearms and ammunition. Well, technically it does, but that doesn't mean they're not going to go out there and get them anyway, dude. I mean, hell, what's funny to me too, by the way, is Moreno wants to talk a lot of this shit is what it is, right? But yet there are people out there who are the quote unquote crazy motherfuckers who have all passed background checks in this country, dude. And they would even pass universal background check bullshit. So again, it's just BS entirely, dude. And that's the problem, right? Like, again, like I said, Moreno could have changed his stances on that one, but the fact that he was pro universal background checks as of like 4.5 years ago kind of makes me think he's probably still pro universal background checks here in 2024, honestly, dude. So, just saying. But anyway. And this goes directly up. And by the way, I guarantee Moreno never did 4473 in this country either, for that matter. Because if he did, he would know that, of course, when you go to do a background check in this country, 4473, whatever we call it there, is you have this question. A person is adjudicated as a mental defective if a court, board, commission, or other lawful authority has made the determination that a person, as a result of a marked subnormal intelligence, mental illness, incapacity, condition, or disease, is a danger to himself or others, be himself or herself, by the way, that one, and lacks mental capacity to contract or manage his own affairs, is found insane by a court in a criminal case, or is found incompetent to stand trial. That was according to the ATF's website, but it's also part of the 4473 case, the actual question of the 4473 for that matter too, because it talks about mental illness basically. And it's basically, there's multiple questions on there about that. Where one, it's like, if you've ever been adjudicated a mental defective or whatever the case be, or mentally, like involuntarily committed, I think is what the other one is for that particular question. And if you mark yes, then you're automatically disqualified from even getting a gun that day because your background check will come back as like, yeah, this person is not buying a gun now. And then secondly, there's another one on there, and they also did a third one now where it's basically, I haven't bought a gun for a while now is what it is. But the entire point is, though, I know there's been one done since last time I actually purchased a gun. And it was like one of the last ones they put on there now. Well, there's actually two new questions they put on there now, if I'm not mistaken. One's basically, are you under 21 kind of thing? And then the other one was something about like, what is your gender identity or something like that, where it's like transgenderism or something like that is what it is there. Because again, it's a way for them to like weed out nut jobs there is what it is then. Which, by the way, I want to point something out here. Like the last several of these fucking, school shootings and stuff like that have actually been done by a bunch of fucking trans nut jobs, dude. Legitimately. So yeah, if you want to talk about who shouldn't be buying guns ever in Marino, let's talk about the trans motherfuckers out there. They're all insane. Or these kids that are, well, they're not really, I don't know if I really consider them trans at this point, honestly. It's a bunch of these kids that are in their teens and stuff like that that are basically been put on cross-sex hormone drugs. That's obviously fucking with their heads is what it is there and making them insane. So, or it's all these kids on antidepressants for that matter. Nobody ever talks about that, by the way, either. It seems like with all the SSRI drugs that these kids are on all the time. And then you wonder why you got increase in mass shootings in the last 30-something years now in this country. Ever since Biden and company did the gun-free schools in the 1990s, what it was. So, anyway, continues on here. It says, this person was talking about Ohio's legislative season. It says, last legislative season, then State Senator Cecil Thomas, who is an anti-gunner sack of shit whose mom to be an action cocksucker, filed several gun control bills that would increase gun control legislation regulations in Ohio. They included raising minimum age to purchase from 18 to 21, allow cities to bar in Ohio to bar guns, which, by the way, would directly break state preemption on that one. Quote unquote, ban devices that increase rate of fire from semi-automatic to full automatic, which is funny because they talk about trigger cranks and stuff like that in there, which are already banned anyway, federally is what it is. And then obviously wanted to repeal, our constitutional carry law, which you can all fuck himself on that one then. And yeah, it was June 13, 2022 is when we had, or as I said here, it says, since Ohio enacted the quote-unquote permitless carry concealed carry law, or constitutional carry is what it actually is, June 30, 2022, gun crime has fallen in 6 of Ohio's largest cities. So the study by Attorney General Dave Yost's office and Bowling Green State University tracked gun crime in Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Toledo, Akron, Dayton, Parma, and Canton, and found significant decreases in crime incidents involving a firearm in 8 cities collectively, and in Akron, Columbus, and Toledo, respectively. Exactly, dude. Said, quote, "This may come as a surprise to gun control advocates, but not to us," said Dean Rink, exec director of Buckeye Firearms. Said, quote, "So-called gun crime is overwhelmingly committed by criminals, those who are prone to break the law and who are generally prohibited from purchasing firearms in the first place." And then it said, last week, Buckeye Firearms endorsed Secretary of State Frank LaRose over Moreno and State Senator Matt Dolan, calling LaRose a proud gun owner and concealed carry license holder who has established himself as a ardent supporter of the Second Amendment rights. And by the way, for those interested right here, this is a picture right here of Frank LaRose, our Secretary of State right there. And as I said right there, it's like gun rights advocate cites LaRose's commitment to Second Amendment. It made it very easy for me to support Frank LaRose. I assume this is Dean Rank from Buckeye Firearms then that said that stuff, maybe. Let's go read that for a minute, actually. I don't know, because this is the problem, though, right? So basically, you had LaRose and Moreno recently take the Ohio Gun Owners little survey thing of, like, it was basically a bunch of yes or no questions, essentially, where it's like, oh, do you support this thing, or would you, deal with the ATF, etc. there and stuff, and it's like, yes, no kind of thing. And supposedly LaRose and Moreno basically both, did the 100% survey thing, and it was supposed to be like 100% pro-gun according to that survey, so it's like, this is kind of the problem, though. Because, again, this whole thing from 4.5 years ago from Moreno totally contradicts him saying now he's all pro-2A and stuff like that. And, again, it could just be him saying shit, honestly, dude. And I've seen it so many times before, honestly, dude, for real. It's like being the beaten dog where you don't want to get beat again, basically, is what it is. So you just, like, you just cower in fear, basically. And that's the entire point, dude. It's like, I don't want to be the guy that cast a fucking ballot for somebody, and then it turns out, 4 months, 6 months down the road here, that person starts fucking me in the ass is what it is, and trying to steal my fucking rights away from me is what it is, man. So, and I think, honestly, I think really Brendan Moreno cost himself in this one, dude. He might have actually cost himself a vote that's now going to go possibly to Frank LaRose, for that matter. I don't know right now. I'm still debating right now, honestly, dude. So, anyway, okay, here it was. This person here. It says, Linda Walker, predominant figure within gun rights advocacy circles, is supporting Secretary of State Frank LaRose's bid for U.S. Senate, highlighting his longtime support for Second Amendment rights. So Walker is the Central Ohio chair for Buckeye Firearms Association and NRA election volunteer coordinator for the Ohio 12th Congressional District, and previously served as Donald Trump's Gun Owners for Trump. She's also an NRA concealed carry instructor and was elected to NRA Board of Directors in 2011. So essentially, it's an NRA shill is what we're talking about on that one, ironically enough. So Walker expressed concerns over GOP candidate Brendan Moreno's voting record and past comments he's made about gun control. Quote, "That's really disturbing. This is the type of thing we hear from the anti-gun. I think it was slightly misquoted on that one, because what it should have said there was kind of stuff we hear from anti-gun or anti-gunners, not someone who's proclaiming that they're conservative. Anyway, so Walker's comments come after a 2019 podcast, Resurfaced, in which Moreno showed he has historically been in favor of gun control instead of being on the side of the fundamental Second Amendment rights. So in the August 2019 interview with Cleveland tech podcaster Michael Heddick on his Fortify Your Data show, Moreno questioned the necessity for high-capacity magazines and proposed universal background checks. And then we already read that stuff earlier. So during the same interview, Moreno also suggested that opposing such laws may indicate mental illness. So I do want to point something out, by the way. For those who don't know about this for myself, dude, I actually was, as a kid, diagnosed as ADD. Turns out I was actually a high-functioning autistic person, Brendan Moreno. But guess what, dude? Because of my high-functioning autism, dude, I have what I call elephant memory, which is basically the elephant never forgets. And guess what, motherfucker? This elephant never does forget certain things. because you have certain weird stuff that clicks into my brain. I'll bring this shit up 5 years from now, asshole, and tell you to go fuck yourself then too. So that's the entire point, buddy. Unlike a lot of other people, I don't forget shit after a day or two or a week or two or a fucking hour or two or whatever it is, dude. It's fucking ingrained, bitch. And that's the power of weaponized autism, motherfucker. Or as I call it, assault autism. So, anyway. But yeah, let's see, going back to it, though, it said the Walker woman praised LaRosa's dedication to defending gun rights, citing his perfect voting record in support of Second Amendment legislation. So I know Frank LaRosa was in our state senate at one point. I'm not sure if he was in the state house too or not. I think maybe he was just in the state senate for a couple of years there. And I'm wondering if maybe that's what she's talking about as his record for being like, oh yeah, I'm pro 2A, here's why, and like put it through certain things or what it was then. Anyway, said, quote, made it very clear for me to support Frank LaRosa because he is the only one in the race that's got 100% voting record, is what that Linda woman said. So Walker said that she cast her vote on behalf of LaRosa on the first day of early voting in the primary. Said, quote, I actually already voted for Frank LaRosa on the first day of the primary elections. I supported Frank LaRosa for the better part of the past year, knowing that he was going to run, and I'd taken him out to Indianapolis, or he'd come out to Indianapolis during the annual meeting, and I introduced him to some folks and connected him with other federal lobbyists. Said, having already cast her ballot for Frank LaRosa in the primary, Walker highlighted LaRosa's longstanding alliance with the Republican Party compared to Moreno's previously Democrat affiliations, portraying LaRosa as a steadfast defender of constitutional rights. It's kind of funny, though. So I'm not surprised that Bernie Moreno was previously Democrat, honestly, dude. But the thing is, right, that's the thing, right? If I ran right now as something, dude, people could look into my past voting record as a fucking Democrat voter. And I've talked about that many times, honestly, dude. Like, yes, I was technically a default Democrat in this country until around 2013 or so, give or take. And then I looked and I saw that, well, honestly, it was around 2011 is when I really started to wake up to the fact Democrats are pieces of shit, basically. But then I still was like, okay, it's lesser of two evils thing, or whatever the case be. And that's why I technically still voted the fucking, the tickets there then for 2012 is what it was. But yeah, by the time like 2013 came around, like after Sandy Hook and stuff like that, dude, and I realized like what a scumbag, like, pedophile, child molester, piece of shit, Obama and all the rest are what it was, dude. That's when I immediately fucking whipped it out there, and that's when we still technically had the ability to vote for libertarians in the state. And so for the 2014 midterms, I became a libertarian voter, and then it was sometime after that is when they had the whole change-up thing happen, where you had that motherfucker, John Kasich, basically creating a two-party system in the state then, so we can't vote for third parties in primaries anymore. And so it was after that I had become a default Republican voter, then that's what it was in 2016, because I've said it before, I'll say it again, dude, I'm not actually any of these fucking parties. What I actually am is I'm something that I created in 2016, which is an inner libertarian. And if I ever became the governor of Ohio at some point in the future, I would 100% change my party affiliation from Republican to inner libertarian immediately, and I would force the fucking hand of everybody at that point, because you would have to be forced to put my fucking party on the ballot from now on is what it would be then. So, and that's the thing, man. The inner libertarian party is 100% pro 2A. We are 100% pro-life. We are 100% pro-weed, etc. We're all the best pieces of everything else is what it is, dude. So, anyway. Now, granted, do I actually have like traditional values of certain kinds? Yes, I do, obviously. I believe in life, obviously, from conception to death. I believe in the Second Amendment. I also believe in the death penalty, for that matter. I believe there are certain individuals in this country that are so fucking evil, they need to die, is what it is, dude. And they need to die as harshly as possible and as fast as possible. So I talked about in the last Grandstand with that piece of shit that murdered the three pieces of shit that murdered Ronan Sweeney back in the day, back in 2020, and how the fuck they're all still alive right now. It's like, no, they should all be in the fucking ground right now, dude, entirely. So, anyway, by going back to the roast, here's what it is. Said, Linda Walker woman said, in Ohio, it's so easy to look. Someone's in most of the counties, or how someone has voted in the primaries, because we've got to declare the party. So that makes it pretty transparent from my understanding. And Moreno had previously voted Democrat, and I believe Frank had always voted Republican. Said she underscored LaRosa's military service in the Army and his commitment to upholding constitutional principles, stating that he possesses the qualities necessary to serve as Ohio's next U.S. Senator. Said, quote, "You're either a true believer, whether it's the Second Amendment or Constitution as a whole. I believe our founding fathers got it right when they wrote in 200 plus years ago, and you either believe it or not. And Frank has never given me any reason to pause where he stands for our constitutional rights, and I appreciate his continued service to our country in the Army." She says, an Army mother. It said, "Moreno, an entrepreneur, has strategically avoided rigid positions on gun control issues, aiming to appeal to suburban voters. Said, meanwhile, since Ohio enacted a permanently scary law June 13, 2022, gun crime has gone down 6 to 8 major cities. Political endorsements highlight the ongoing debate over gun control within the state's political landscape." So, yeah, like I said, dude, like if I had not known about this, I may have cast a vote for Moreno, honestly, dude. But now that I know about it, like, fuck this guy forever is what it is, dude, for real. Oh, actually, that's an interesting one too, by the way. So here, even going back to other stuff too, for that matter. Then you also have Moreno back in the day saying, quote, "There was no scenario in which I would support Trump. GOP U.S. Senate hopeful Bernie Moreno was against Trump before it was for him." And then, of course, he's now gotten Trump's endorsement because Trump's an idiot and doesn't bother to fucking vet these people properly is what it is the issue there, man. So, and by idiot, I mean he's like stupid enough to basically, not actually have a team ready to go to like vet all these people is what it is then. Which you would think having the kind of money that he has and stuff like that, dude, or even having people that would be like willing to like, do like various campaigns and stuff for him to like raise money and shit. Why wouldn't you just have people raise a bunch of money, or even have people be like, "Hey, everybody, like I'm looking for like hell." I guarantee you can find volunteers out there that would do that for you, man. Be like, "Hey, everybody, like looking for volunteers in all these states like that to go do deep dives on these candidates and stuff like that. Like find everything you can on these people before I endorse anybody is what it is then." And I guarantee you find people that would, honestly. Dude, hell, I probably would, honestly, for that matter, even. Be like, okay, cool, I work for that thing. Like, is it going to be in a direct volunteer status, or is it going to be you actually paying me for my time and any kind of, like, gas, et cetera, I'd have to waste to go do, like, various things and stuff like that, to go do actual investigations and stuff and find, like, evidence, physically or whatever the case be on the people. Because if that were the case, then, maybe not do it for free, obviously, but, like, I'm sure you could find people that would, honestly, for that matter. And that's the thing. You could actually have, like, the best people in the race, that's what it would be, man. So, I don't know. I find it kind of bullshit, though, entirely, that it does come down to money and stuff in these political races. Because that's the thing with Moreno, right? Like, Moreno has, like, millions and millions of dollars from being a fucking car salesman for decades of his life now, is what it is. LaRose has direct ties, and that's another reason, by the way, I kind of really don't vote Frank LaRose is what it is, because he has direct ties to Budweiser specifically is what it is there. And his family, I want to say it's his family ties, actually, which he actually is part of, like, the trust or whatever that gets the money is what it is, though. They actually make quite a bit of money off of beer in this state, and specifically with the Budweiser brewing factory. And it's also a reason why LaRose is actually against legalized weed in this state, too, for that matter, or this country, for that matter, even. So that kind of contradicts, for me, with his ass on that one. And like I said, then you got Moreno, who might be pro-weed, but he's also, like, obviously anti-gun then. So it's like, yeah, man, like, why would I vote for this jackass? So, and then, of course, you got scumbag Sherrod Brown, who's a fucking cheater son of a bitch, obviously, on the other side of the ticket there. Which, how anybody's not going to try to primary that old motherfucker out, dude, is just beyond me at this point. Like, yes, I understand he's a sitting U.S. Senator, dude, but guess what? You could attack him from every fucking side as a Democrat fucking nominee on that one, dude. Even if you're not really a Democrat, run underneath the fucking party is what it is, dude. Primary this motherfucker out, and then it's basically you versus whoever then. And hell, you could even change your party affiliation to fucking independent after the fact or something like that, or libertarian for that matter, even for, if you want to go down that road and stuff. So, it's a bunch of shit, dude. And yeah, it really fucking bothers me, dude. You have all these people out there that will just, like, that may have some money to their name or whatever the case be, but don't bother getting in these races, what it is then. Which is why I really hope I hit this lottery tonight, honestly, because if I do, I'm going to start legitimately, dude. And I'll say it again right now. If I can become a multi-millionaire tonight, I will 100% start backing political races with my money is what it is then. And getting grassroots candidates on these ballots is what it is then. Giving them startup packages and stuff like that for a few thousand a piece to start out their campaigns and stuff like that they would need to get off the ground. And then if we need to fund them a little bit more, we will is what it is then. Or if we could just find like other people that would end up, throwing money towards their campaigns and stuff like that as a grassroots candidate and stuff. And of course, we would go for like the biggest people that are pro-2A, pro-life, etc. there. So, so it needs to be getting into office right now. And like I said, I don't. It's not that I distrust Frank LaRose all the way around. Like I've never voted for the guy. That's what it is, dude. Either time he was running for the Secretary of State's office, never voted for him either time in those races. I just didn't trust the guy. Obviously, I trust Moreno even less than that now, and I sure as shit never trusted fucking dickhead Matt Dolan. So I feel like this is going to be one of these situations where if I do end up like casting a vote for like any of these guys, like obviously it'd be LaRose, obviously at this point, most likely. Like it would be like one of those ones like where I cast for DeWine a couple years ago, where it's like you kind of got like a razor to the fucking wrist and you kind of want to like slit your own wrist. Like casting your vote for these people and stuff like that, but you have to is what it is then. Because it's either them or the lunatic left is what it is then. So, and it's sad to think about that, right? Like you shouldn't have to go on that road, man. Where it's like opening a fucking vein or something like that kind of a thing to like, because really that is like legit like lesser of two evils at that point, dude. And it's like, yeah, but you're still evil as fuck is what it is. Like, no, I want somebody that's actually a good candidate. It's not a fucking scumbag that can vote for is what it is, man. So. Anyway, just to be clear, YouTube, I'm not talking about self-harm or anything like that. Do not channel strike this fucking channel or anything like that for any of that shit, dude. It's a fictitious thing I was talking about doing, obviously. Metaphorically speaking, that's how it felt like, honestly, in the midterm elections. Voting for dickhead DeWine. Where you wouldn't have had to if you had actually been able to put people that were write-in candidates' names on the actual ballot then, because there would have been like 7 other people on the fucking ballot could have voted for is what it was then, man. That would have been way better people than Mike DeWine or Nan Whaley then. It's the same thing with Frank LaRose, dude. If there had been more people on the Secretary of State's ballot, you probably wouldn't have won, honestly. That Tor chick probably would have been Secretary of State right now, and she actually wasn't bad. So that's what I actually went in the primary for. And I think maybe it was during the actual race Secretary of State, I think maybe I just didn't click that at all is what it was then. So I forget what it was offhand if I did that at all or not. But yeah, it's the whole thing, man. So kind of want to see if Moreno got back at me or not. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Because it probably gets a bunch of those every day is what it is then. So. Oh shit, they finally dropped the body cam footage from inside the Lakewood church shooting that happened in Texas there. That one that was Joel Osteen's church there. Surprised that Mr. Guns and Douche didn't put his own fucking watermark on this one like he did with that Afghani withdrawal one, dude, a couple years ago. So, I drop that in the Discords real quick is what it is here. So, don't be surprised to hear a couple of beeps real quick here. So, anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that one earlier. Let me edit that down. All right, cancel. Okay, yeah, I want to do this one over here now. Okay, make sure there's nothing going on with the thing here. Okay. Nope, just people talking about some stuff there. Okay. Actually, you know what's fucking sad? And I'm gonna point this one out to everybody that doesn't know about the shit, man. So credit card scammers or skimmers, I think that's what they're called actually. Which is you can take a thing and put it over a thing there is what it is. You can do this at any of the places there, dude. It's also why I tend to use cash for stuff, not credit cards, is what it is. Or debit cards or anything else like that. Because of shit like this right here is what it is. Some dude going to pump fucking gas thinking he's putting his card into a thing, whatever the case be there. And then, as it turns out, he's like, this is weird. Let me go, click on this thing because it should be popping up something on the screen. There's what it is then, them hitting whatever then. And it's not really doing much of anything or whatever. So then he takes a little tool there, pops the motherfucker off, and yeah, it's a total thing on the other thing, dude. It's on top of the other thing, and it's just a chipboard basically. And what these actually do is this little part down here. It collects the data from like the keystrokes and stuff, and then what the people will do is it's usually like the end of the day or something. They'll come back in there, pop them off there themselves, grab them up, go back and download all the information there, and then they got your credit card numbers and your credit card information, everything else like that. That's what it is then. So just fucked up, dude. The other ones I've seen actually are even more than this, though. It's not just that keypad. It's like the actual, like it's like a whole thing you like wrap around the thing or whatever. And it's able to get more data collection and stuff like that in there. So, and then, yeah, just like he's pulling there at the thing. Like they'll also do like stuff here too, for that matter, where they'll pop like it when you put your key in there, it'll, yeah, it pops right there. Like it'll actually collect your data and stuff there on that one too. When you pop your card in there. So, yeah, fucking disgusting, man. And again, it goes back to people not want to get a real job in this country. That's what pisses me off, dude. It's like, yeah, you'll sit there and fucking scam people out of their hard-earned money and what it is because you're a fucking douchebag. Instead of going and getting a goddamn job and a fucking your own paychecks, you fucking assholes. So, anyway. Yeah, I pretty much have had it all the way around, dude. I really fucking have. And like I said, Moreno pretty much, he kind of already had rubbed me the wrong way almost a year ago or over a year ago now is what it was when he made that stupid ass stance about, oh, we should give reparations to people that were descendants of Northern soldiers back in the American Civil War. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot, bro. And now for it to come out that you had this thing about 4.5 years ago where you're calling for gun control and like magazine limitations and everything else like that. Like, yeah, you can really fuck off now, Bernie, you douchebag. There was only one good Bernie ever. And that was Bernie Getz, the guy that was the vigilante in New York City subway in the 1980s. Who said, fuck your gun control in New York City. And simply carried around a revolver with him in his pocket because he knew it was shit was bad there. And then you had 4 young pieces of shit try to get into his fucking face and try to fuck him up is what it was. So he's like, bang, 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 bang. And then the one guy started coming again. He's like, bang a 5th time is what it was because of a 5-shot revolver. Obviously, nobody died in that situation. And he ended up getting sued for a bunch of money by these douchebags after the fact and like lawsuits and stuff like that. But they end up getting arrested for stuff is what it was then. And ironically enough, it was that particular event that was what a lot of people actually credit as turning things around in New York City. There's what it was, dude. Because then you had people like Trump start investing a bunch of money into the city and stuff like that. You had Rudy Giuliani become the the mayor of that city then. And yeah, it was basically a whole thing. And it basically like they took care of the hookers and stuff in the early 90s then that were all around there and shit. And actually started cleaning the city up is what it was then. And it wasn't until dickhead Michael Bloomberg got in there that he started fucking it up again with fucking, pro-gun control shit and fucking stop and frisk stuff that got the fucking city sued into oblivion by all these people that were, illegally stop and frisk because it was unconstitutional to do that stuff to them and stuff, even though in many cases they actually were illegally carrying in the city. So, but yes, it was them targeting black males usually is what it was there. So I also want to point that out. I bring it up obviously for one reason, which is basically to point out the fact that when you look at all gun control in this country, it was always 2 things actually. It was racial based and it was poor based. And sometimes the things intertwine actually on that one. You look back at the Jim Crow law era and stuff like that. It was to stop black people from having gun rights. You look back at the fucking, like specifically, it's the things like North Carolina got rid of recently here, which is the whole, pistol permit purchase stuff like that is what it is there. after that racist piece of shit Roy Cooper vetoed it twice, you finally had a General Assembly that was able to override his stupid veto the second time around then and get rid of that crap entirely after 100-something years what it was there or something. And then you had other stuff throughout the years and decades and stuff like that. And of course, you know, the whole thing with the taxation for the tax stamps and stuff like that, dude, is to hit against poor people like myself right now that can't afford that shit. You know, would I love to have a fucking can? Would I love to have, you know, the ability to put, you know, a fucking suppressor on one of my 22 handguns or even my 22 rifles and stuff like that, dude? Fuck yeah, I would. I can't though, because I don't have the fucking $200 to pay for the damn tax stamp, dude. And I really don't want to have the ATF have an ability to come into my fucking house is what it is there, which obviously I guess that's been kind of debunked now is what it is, because I heard that recently where it was, I've heard things back and forth on both sides where people were talking about Fourth Amendment right violation things or whatever, where it's like, yeah, as soon as you get like a tax stamp or whatever, you actually technically give the fucking ATF permission to come into your house anytime is what it is then to, you know, check your shit and stuff like that, which is not the case at all, because this is from a lawyer I heard this about recently actually, where they were saying it. And they were saying that was actually apparently like some kind of weird myth or folklore somebody came up with a while ago, and it kind of just caught fire is what it was then. And what it actually is you're just basically buying a thing there and like paying for the stamp and shit, but you're never actually giving up your Fourth Amendment rights to these people to come into your house illegally is what it is then. So even if you have the actual, you know, things, you still don't actually have, they still don't actually have the right to come into your house without your permission is what it is then. So, but either way, I wouldn't want to do it anyway because of the fact that it's like, again, you're paying government for fucking permissions when you shouldn't have to is what it is, dude. We should all have the ability to buy the shit just outright is what it is then. You know, it's as simple as that, really. And we got this one from 12 hours ago. Uvalde police who stood in the hall for over an hour as 40 kids and teachers were shot, 21 died, were quick to arrest parents of the victims like Brett Cross for making public outbursts at county commissioners meetings. They accuse of a cover-up. Yeah, fucking disgusting, dude, entirely. People should all be dealt with accordingly, dude. Nah. That's fucked up, man. Anyway. Oh, here's an interesting one. We got President Trump releases new ad about illegal immigration focused on Larkin Riley's murder. For those who don't know who Larkin Riley is, she was the little girl that was 22, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. She was jogging there in Georgia like a week and a half ago or so, give or take. And yeah, she was murdered from some piece of shit fucking illegal alien that broke into our country is what it was, dude. So just absolutely disgusting, dude, entirely. And what's even more disgusting is her murderer was let out of fucking jail early because of quote unquote, they didn't have the fucking space to house this motherfucker. Then simply deport his fucking ass, or I don't know, if he already has a bunch of fucking criminal shit where he kills some people, dude, take him out in the fucking desert and deal with his ass accordingly. That's what it is, dude. Deal with him like they do, like that Jesse James Hollywood dealt with that one guy's brother. You know, seriously, man. Like, it's not that hard to do Desert March, people. Seriously, come on now. So, anyway. Yeah, I've just fucking had it, man. I really have. I feel like we're getting to a point in this country right now where a single-time purge, like a one-time purge, would actually do a lot to save this nation. But it couldn't just be like 12 hours or something. It would have to be like a couple of days, honestly. And there'd have to be nobody exempt at all. Because there'd be a lot of motherfuckers in positions of power right now that would need to be dealt with, obviously. So, and then what's even more disgusting is you're people are talking about it again now. I heard about this yesterday. I was talking to my sister about this, actually. I'm going to go ahead and point this out right now before we leave this episode is what it is. Which is this piece of shit judge right here let a guy named Monte Henderson walk after a $20,000 bond where he literally plowed through this woman and her daughter. He killed these 2 women in the fucking crosswalk the other day, going like 90 and stuff. Yeah, it says judge who released the Missouri man on $20,000 bond who killed the mother and her daughter is linked to George Soros. Shocker. Judge Anita, I'm sure I pronounced her last name, Liwakin, shockingly decided to let Monte Henderson walk free after he plowed through a woman and her daughter traveling at a whopping 70 miles an hour. Okay, so that was way he did that actually. It looked like it was more like 80 or 90, honestly, dude. It said Annette was handpicked by St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner, who was forced to resign from her for latency on crime. Soros pumped tons of money into Gardner's campaign, including a $116,000 payment to her 2020 campaign. I've said it before, I'll say it again, dude. These fucking piece of shit judges, these piece of shit prosecutors, etc., need to be charged as accessories before, after, and during the fucking fact to these fucking scumbag-ass criminals, dude. Because only a fucking piece of shit judge would allow some motherfucker to walk on a $20,000 bond when that asshole murdered 2 people. And not only that, also, in the previous days before that, was also being charged with involuntary manslaughter of like 2 or 3 other people is what it was. Which is what this fucking Monte guy is, dude. And yet this piece of shit judge had the audacity to be like, oh no, he... Or actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't the judge, it was the stupid-ass fucking attorney for his ass. It was all like, oh, he's never been convicted of a crime before in his life, except he already fucking was. It's like, yeah, he might have been convicted of these crimes, but he's definitely been accused of them already. For the other stuff he's done right now, he just hasn't been gone to trial for him, is what it was, you stupid bitches. And like I said, dude, like, honestly, in a lot of cases, our country would be better off if a lot of these judges got arrested and a lot of these fucking defense attorneys, etc., got arrested too, for that matter, dude. You know? It's like that one, Back to the Future universe, where they were talking about Biff's grandson getting busted and stuff like that and being, like, put to trial and then, like, going to jail all within, like, an hour or 2 a time or whatever it was there. And Doc Brown was like, oh, yeah, man, it's because they abolished lawyers. So, yeah, like, maybe that's the fucking point right now, dude. I don't know, you know? But at the same time, it would be kind of like the Judge Dredd kind of judge your executioner kind of thing is what it is there. So, yeah. That's not a world I want to live in either, for that matter, dude. So it's like, there's definitely some middle ground, obviously, there. But like I said, it really is time to just try everybody at this point, dude. And it really starts with auto DQs and every seat of power in this country is what it is, dude. Like, yeah, if you can find out that you have, like, direct ties to this person, whatever the case be, and you're doing, like, latency shit like that, dude, like, guess what? Your ass is now being disbarred, and you're no longer allowed to hold judgeships ever again. And you might actually be charged with crimes after the fact is what it is then, for helping these fucking people get out is what it is then early. So, you know, it's just like that fucking piece of shit Biden put on the Supreme Court there that was giving child molesters fucking slaps on the wrist when she should have given them mandatory minimums. That would have been 5 or 6 years. She was giving them like a year or 2 is what it was. Like, it's just like, my God, man. What is our world coming to right now? And it's honestly coming to shit right now is what it is, dude, for real. So, anyway. But yeah, fuck Bernie Moreno is what it is. I will never cast a vote for him. I suggest nobody else does for that matter either here in Ohio on the, it's March 19th when our primary is. Which obviously you can early vote right now and you can vote for somebody else then. Will I endorse Frank LaRose for this Senate race? No, I will not. Will I actually end up voting for Frank LaRose for the Senate race? If it's legit, him, Moreno, and Matt Dolan, probably. Do I really want to vote for Frank LaRose for the Senate race? No, I don't. Do I really want to vote for Frank LaRose at all? If it's him versus Sherrod Brown at some point in the future? Like, obviously, if it's him versus Sherrod Brown, I will vote for him, obviously, on that one just because of that. Because fuck Sherrod Brown's cheating ass. Do I really like Frank LaRose? No, I do not, is what it is, dude. Do I really wish there was a 4th candidate in this race I could just cast my fucking ballot for? Yes, I do, is what it is. Is there a way to get in there right now? No, there's not, dude. I would have, even if I was jumping in myself is what it is, like, I'd have to jump in as like a rated candidate is what it would be then, and it would not be until, like, I forget how long it is before the general election then. And even then it'd be like, it couldn't even be like the main 2 parties, and I think it had to be like Libertarian or Independent or something like that is what it would be then. So, and it's not really worth it to do that then because you have to collect like so many fucking signatures and stuff like that and put like so much money to even get your name to be counted on the ballot as like a write-in candidate and stuff like that, and I would have no chance of winning, obviously. So it's not really worth it at that point, honestly, man. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe Frank LaRose would be a good fucking U.S. senator for all I know, dude. I mean, he hasn't been a great Secretary of State, so his track record doesn't really go anywhere. But and that's another thing too that bothers me about the guy. It's like, yeah, you got this dude who's like always doing the I'm a military vet thing when it's like, bro, you have like an actual voting record in our state senate from like years ago that you were a state senator. Like you have like 6-year track record right now being Secretary of State where you've actually done a few things anyway here and there. Like, why don't you stand on your actual fucking records, bro? Like, it's just weird, But I don't know. But like I said, though, Moreno definitely cost us my vote on this one then, dude. From doing the gun control shit is what it is. So fuck him. But anyway. And like I said, it does bother me that Trump keeps endorsing these idiots is what it is, dude. But it kind of makes sense when you think about it, right? Because even going back to the one time I actually agree with Mike Pence in this country, which was basically you had Trump do the whole bullshit of like, oh, what was it? Take the guns first, due process after kind of shit. And Pence is like, bro, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah, bro, what the fuck? Like that's the way I feel about with Moreno right now. It's like, yeah, bro, what the fuck? Like, why are you endorsing like gun control, bro? And then you're sitting there and talking about you're all pro 2A and shit. It's like, you're obviously not. You're just a liar who fucking makes up like bullshit questionnaires or signs questionnaires or whatever the case be, but like signs them how you want people to see them is what it is then, not how you actually agree on them is what it is there. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm very bothered by it, dude. I may have to tag Ohio Gunners one of these days soon and be like, you guys realize like this is surfacing again, right? Like maybe you obviously shouldn't endorse Brendan Moreno on this one. Like, I don't care if he did sign your little survey thing or not. Like he's obviously not pro 2A, man. So, but anyway, but it is what it is, man. Anyways, I got to go do a couple of things here, and then I'm going to go work on some stuff then in the near future is what it'll be, and go do a few things here. So, oh no. Ooh. Damn. That sucks. So a few hours ago, our people lost their shit then, and now it's pretty much us versus everybody. So that's not good. That's not good at all. What I will be doing, though, is I will be doing some things over here real quick. Grabbing up some 30s and shit while I'm sitting here. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, though, it's Moreno is a sack. Like, Brendan Moreno comes off as a sack of shit anyway, dude. Like, he's always come off very scummy to me in general. Like, again, like, how could you not when you're a used car salesman, honestly, dude? Like, that alone kind of is like, like, those guys are pretty sleazy, man. Just saying. So I'm not the least bit surprised, like I said, that he's actually just a scumbag is what it is, but it's a bit disheartening, honestly, especially with how many people were in the race last time around versus how many are in here now. Because it was like 6-7 people back when JD Vance won. And what's even more disgusting to me, honestly, is I think JD Vance even fucking backed Moreno too. And I'm just like, bro, like, what the hell? So, yeah. It just sucks, man. It really does. Because it's like, you want the best person in the race to win, right? And you want the best person to not fuck you over when it's all said and done. But really, at the end of the day, it really is just a boys club, dude. It's really just a fucking, like, scumbag crony club is what it really is, honestly, Where it's like, it doesn't matter what you do or what you say or whatever the case be. Like, they're going to fuck you no matter what, So, I don't know. And then the worst thing is, it's not like you can even get ahead because they're going to fuck you all the way around then, and they're going to try to take everything from you. And, you know, even if you win like a lot or whatever the case be, they're just stealing a bunch of millions off you from that one, is what it is then, dude. So then you're still like, you know, you have some money, but not a bunch. And then you get, you know, plowed every year for that shit, is what it is then. And then you get in a whole new tax bracket and you get fucked there too, for that matter. So, I don't know, man. It's a whole thing. But anyway, I gotta do some stuff here though, momentarily. So, damn. I was hoping that would be Rick coming up on that one, but it was not. It was Magna. Anyway, but yeah, like I said though, it's a bunch of shit, dude. When you have these people that will sit there and actively like fuck you over in life, and you know, fuck over your ability to get ahead and stuff like that, and then sit there and try to grab your guns and everything else like that, then because you know they're going to do tyrannical shit, is what it is at the end of the day. It's like, why would you ever trust these people? Oh shit! Did I just lose a bunch of? I did just lose a bunch of guys. What the fucking hell? Motherfucker. Crap. Didn't realize my shield apparently had gone down here. Damn. Shit. Sons of bitches. Fucking people. Let's see. Well, I was a T8. What did this cocksucker attack me with here? Oh, of course, they're a fucking T9 pay to win. Fucking asshole. Bitch. Damn, that pisses me off. I completely forgot about that one. How long ago was that attack, though, was the question. Okay, it was just over 2 hours ago. Yeah, let's see. They scouted me twice. And then they attacked. Took a couple million worth of shit off of me. Yep. Fucking dicks, man. This is the time where I almost kind of wish I could just take one of my T10s and put it over on here and be like, you know what, fuck you, dude, and just smash the shit out of them backgrounds. What it is then, you know. So yeah, it'd be nice. But anyway, but yeah, like I was saying though, Moreno is a scumbag, dude. I'm never voting for his ass ever. And like I said, in this race, I mean, I guess technically the roast is the only candidate at this point, really, would be. So, because yeah, I've actually seen nothing against him when it comes to Second Amendment stuff. So, like I said, they'll talk a lot of shit on Twitter about different things and like protecting the country, but then he never really does anything firsthand to do it, is what it is then. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, I really wish there's another candidate to vote for, is what it is, but unfortunately, there's not. So, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing right now. But anyway. I should see if I lost some guys then. I probably did because I had a bunch of dudes just sitting there like burning off basically. So let me see if I actually did lose some dudes then. That whole thing, most likely. Yep, I was right. Yep, hospitals were full. 5,456 that got taken out completely. Fucking bullshit, dude. What a dick. Well, what's good about that is he probably tried to hit me multiple times, is my guess, and he can only hit me once because my shield automatically activated is what it was then. I can't remember if this is the second or third shield now that I've had in this game. Because if it was the third one, that would be my last one. If it was the second one, it would be my my other ones then. Well, now that I know that, I guess I got to keep a fucking shield up every day is what it is now. So we got this one for another 9 hours and 40 minutes. That'd be 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, about 3:30 or so, give or take. And then we're taking this thing and 1,600 would be, trying to figure that out now. Let's figure this out now. So that'd be 12, 7, 8, 11 a.m. then. So, yeah, it's not too bad then. But anyway. Yeah, fucking irritates the shit out of me. That is what it is, because it's like, I should not be in the situation, dude. Fucking bullshit, dude. The worst thing is I kind of knew that there was somebody lurking around is what it was, because people said earlier about it, like, oh yeah, there's somebody here, man. So it's like, you just don't think about it as what it is, though. So, or you just forget, I guess is what it is then. Whatever, it is what it is. Again, that's what happens when you got pay-to-win assholes in games, and the scumbags of society is what it is that you fucking hate with a passion, because they are dicks like that. And it's just like politicians, man. They're going to fuck you every chance they get us what it is, you know what I'm saying? Or would-be politicians like scumbags like Moreno is what it is, man. So there you go. So anyway, and that's where we'll leave it off at today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will see you all in the next one, which will be Thursday for Buckshot Thursday, where we will be discussing a bunch of topics, 2A related stuff and whatnot, and then going and doing a bunch of things like that's what it is there. So anyway, until later, I will see you guys on Thursday. And have a good one, y'all. Stay safe, stay vigilant, always be carrying. Make sure you're always armed and ready to go just in case something does happen. Because you never fucking know if you're going to have to deal with illegal aliens or anybody else for that matter that are would-be gun-grabbing tyrants in this country. And it's as simple as that. Later, y'all. Have a good one.